If you've ever been curious about making Indian food at home, I have the perfect starter recipe for you. This is Instant Pot Chicken Tikka Masala. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this recipe, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons and share with a friend. Let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is prep our chicken breasts. I've got 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is trim the little bits of extra fat that you're gonna see. Like, like right in here, you've got this little fat. This is just something that I really like to do. This won't affect the flavor either positively or negatively. So if you're feeling short on time, don't worry about it. But if you're like me and you wanna just, trim that extra fat, go right ahead and do it. Now, there are a lot of people out there in the world that clean their chicken super intensively. They first wash the chicken and then they take lots of citrus and rub it on. They're really careful about trimming all the fat and little extra bits. I don't go quite that far, but if you guys are one of those people, please let me know in the comments below. I'd just love to know, why do you clean your chicken so intensively? It's not something that I ever do, but I am super open-minded about it and curious, so let me know in the comments. Next, we're gonna cut our chicken breasts into like 1-inch cube size. Just keep in mind the size that you wanna cut is essentially like a forkful. So however big you feel like you want the chicken to be on the fork as you're eating this dish, that's the size you wanna cut into. Next thing we're gonna do is finely chop a small onion. This onion's a little bit on the edge between a small and a medium. This is never gonna be perfect. This size is totally fine. Here's my hand, for a size comparison. A little extra onion never hurts anything. Next thing we're gonna do is mince our garlic. My recipe calls for 4 cloves. These cloves that I have that I bought yesterday are a little small, so I'm actually gonna use 6 cloves. Again, like the onion, I am not afraid of garlic, and I think usually more the better. Next thing we're gonna do is mince our ginger. My recipe calls for 1 tablespoon. And as you guys have seen with me cutting and prepping my ginger before, again, you have 2 ways that you can cut ginger. You can peel it with a spoon, basically where you're taking off this outer layer and then just mince it as you would with a knife. Or I think the faster way, but you do lose a little bit more ginger, is just to cut it. Just to cut it straight off like this, work your way around the outside of the ginger. The other benefit too of using a knife to cut like this is that you're cutting like hard angles, and that gives you a nice base to work from when you're mincing it. All right guys, now our annoying prep is all done. We're gonna move on to the cooking. Let's set our Instant Pot to the saute mode. And let's just let this come to temperature, and then we're gonna add our butter and saute our veggies. All right, now I'm adding my 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I wanna let the butter melt a little bit before we're gonna toss in the onion and ginger and garlic. So let's just move it around a little bit. Now I'm gonna add my onion, ginger, and garlic all at the same time. You've probably seen many recipes that have you saute the onion first, then you add the garlic so the garlic doesn't burn, then you might add the ginger after that. But in this recipe, you can really add it all at one time. Nothing's gonna burn. There's gonna be plenty of moisture coming off of these onions that you're gonna be all good. So let's add it all in at one time. And you guys are not gonna believe how incredible this combination smells. It is awesome. And it really starts to become fragrant very quickly. All right, now I'm adding my garlic. And last, we're adding the ginger. All right, we're gonna saute these veggies for just about 3 minutes or until it's softened. All right, this is smelling so incredible, and now we're gonna make it smell even better. We're gonna add our spices now. We're gonna start with 1 tablespoon of garam masala. Garam masala is a very important spice to Indian cuisine and extremely, extremely important in this recipe. So if you have trouble finding it, you just gotta look harder. You gotta order it online. It is essential to this recipe. Next, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of cumin. I love all of the spices of Indian food. It just has such a different flavor profile than anything else that I cook. The spices with Indian cuisine are so, so important. So you really gotta make sure you get them right. Now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Next is 1 teaspoon of turmeric. And turmeric has such a beautiful color. Check out this, look at that. It's like this orangey, yellowy red, just beautiful. Next, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt. And our last spice is gonna be a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. Okay, now we wanna give this a quick mix here. All we need to do is cook this for about another minute until the spices have become fragrant. Aman, you wanna get a shot of this actually? I want you guys to see how everything is looking. The smell is incredible. All right guys, so next we're gonna add our chicken into the pot. We gotta do this a little quickly because you don't want the spices to burn. So just be a little mindful. That's why we prep the chicken ahead of time. All right, I'm gonna give this a quick mix and stir to combine, and then very quickly, we're gonna add one other ingredient here. Let me just mix this up. All right, now we're gonna add our tomato sauce right on top of everything else. You know what's so funny? I feel like I've been using a can opener like totally wrong the entire time. I gotta get into this at some other point. I don't want this to burn. I gotta come back to that thought. Hang on, guys. Okay, now we're adding our tomato sauce. Let's give it another quick mix to combine everything. Whoa, oh my gosh. I almost hit myself in the face with the tomato sauce. All right, so as I was saying about the can opener, I've been using a can opener like this my entire life. And I just saw on TikTok that the real way you're supposed to use a can opener is like this, like that. And it's supposed to be like parallel with the top of the can, which I've never done before, and I wish I would have thought of that like 2 minutes ago. Let me know in the comments below if there's a right way or wrong way to this. I just never even thought about it, but. All right, let's give it one more quick mix. But this is looking and smelling so incredible. At this point, if your neighbors and your friends and your family aren't coming into the kitchen and wondering what you're making because it smells so amazing, I would be shocked. Aman, will you come and get a shot of this? Take a look at how beautiful that looks. All right, so now we are going to turn off our saute function. Then we're gonna set it to pressure cook on high for 6 minutes. Let's make sure we put our top on, of course. Hang on, there you go. Sometimes you gotta be patient with these Instant Pots. Let's hit start and make sure that the pressure release valve is set to pressure cook. All right, guys, the 6-minute timer is done. Let's take a look. Oh, also too, I want to tell you, I've already released the pressure from the pressure valve. I did a quick release. All right, let's see how we did. Gosh, that's looking so good already, and we're not done. Look how beautiful this is looking. And you can tell the chicken's already super tender. It's like the chicken's already falling apart as I kind of push on it. So good. Oh my gosh. Next thing we're gonna do is add our can of coconut milk. And the coconut milk does everything else to this recipe that you'd want it to. It's this great source of this creamy, coconutty flavor that when you mix it in, oh my gosh, look at the color's really gonna lighten up now. It's such a beautiful color. But what you're gonna notice at this point now, it looks a little watery, and that's no accident. So to fix that, what we're gonna do is set our Instant Pot back to the saute mode. And we are going to let this come to a simmer and basically cook down. And as it's cooking down, the flavors are gonna get even more intense and more flavorful, which is gonna be great. All right, guys, the simmering is just about done. Let me turn that off. And then Aman, let's show them how much we've cooked this down. So I'm gonna point to it here. This line right here is where we started the simmer. And look, probably like 2 or 2.5 inches down is where the level of the tikka masala is now. And by cooking it down, we've really evaporated a lot of the water off, which has intensified the flavor, and it's made the broth kind of thicker and more creamy and looking incredible. So let's spoon this up really quick. Now, it's really sad that I forgot to buy white rice and I forgot to buy naan, because those are the two things that I always put with my Instant Pot chicken tikka masala, and I am so sad. It's almost criminal that I don't have those things. It's just the perfect combination, but I don't have it, so whatever, don't hate me. The other thing I like to garnish on top of this chicken tikka masala is a little bit of chopped cilantro. At least I have that. All right, this looks so incredible. I cannot wait to give it a taste. But before I do, if you've loved this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my Instant Pot recipes playlist. Okay, let's give this a try. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. I'm gonna burn my mouth. Wow. This Instant Pot chicken tikka masala, the chicken is falling apart tender. The sauce is so creamy and delicious. Guys, this one is really, really good. I hope you give it a try. I'll see you in the next video.